Hey everybody, it's William Gilmore here for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. It is day 260 of the journey. And tonight I took 10 pages into the Rewrites Writers Group that meets at the Farmers Market in LA. And it was interesting. Took in 10 pages of The Devil's Tramping Ground, which I'm trying to do a rewrite on. It's basically a page one rewrite. And it went well, I have to say. Things that I thought would be a problem were a problem that I kind of figured I would have to work on. But I thought, well, maybe it's not the biggest problem as I think it is, but it was. So trying to turn this non-linear screenplay back into a linear. I had originally written it as a linear many moons ago, the first draft, and from there it became a non-linear piece. And there have been a number of changes over time to that non-linear piece. That linear version really doesn't matter anymore. So trying to turn it back into a linear format is challenging. And I'm finding issues with, how much can I get set up in that first 10 pages? Because it is a horror, and so you want to get to the horror right away. And it doesn't really happen until the kids go off to the tramping ground for the night of camping. So it was trying to establish that it's a horror early on and set up the characters and get things happening. It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. It's going to be a little bit different, even with this rewrite. It's still going to be a little bit different than a typical horror genre flick. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. I did wait until almost the last possible moment to write these 10 pages. Because I've been busy doing other things and trying to get ready for the conference that's coming up this weekend, the ScriptFest 2016 and Great American Pitch Festival. So trying to take care of all those issues and other things. I had a list of like 20 things that I needed to get accomplished as far as getting updates on this website and getting updates on the Hike Los Angeles website. It's hikelosangeles.com, hike-losangeles.com in case you want to go check that out. So I really didn't get around to working on my 10 pages until early today. And I thought it would go a little bit faster since I had pre-existing scenes and maybe I could just sort of reformat them a little bit and work them in. And starting over with this and trying to establish all those things in that first 10 pages, it wasn't just cut and paste. It was having to rewrite scenes and drop things out and going, oh, if I drop that out, how's that going to affect later down the road? And yeah, it's going to be more challenging than I was anticipating. Still, 10 pages a week. It's about a 90-page script, so I got about 2.5 months doing 10 pages a week at rewrites. We should hopefully have a pretty good script in about 2.5 months, maybe sooner. I did put The Calling up on Inktip as well as Come Ups. It is getting a little bit of heat. People are looking at the log line. No one has. Some people have looked at the synopsis. No one has looked at the script yet. So, but it's early. I've only just put that up. So, I'll probably be pitching both The Calling and Come Ups this weekend. I may go ahead and pitch Devil's Tramping Ground at the festival, since I do know the story really well. The story itself isn't going to change. How it's told may. But so I ended up getting those 10 pages done, finished up about 7 o'clock, and then printed those out very quickly and made the mad dash to rewrites. It begins at 8, and got there and we read it. So that's what's happening. I did also earlier in this week, I meant to mention this last time, someone in one of the forums had put up a script online, presumably as their own, and were looking for some type of feedback on it. And a couple of people, looked at it briefly and then shot back, this is awful, it's terrible, it's ridiculous, why are you posting this, you're no good. A lot of hateful comments, and I don't like that. If someone's putting something up there, sure, you can critique it and offer them some constructive criticism, but to flat out, be hateful about it, that rubs me the wrong way. people who are looking for help, they could be beginners, and they haven't done a whole lot yet. And finishing a script, that's a big deal. Putting it out there, people can be courteous. You can tell them that there are problems with their script without being nasty about it. The same is reverse on the opposite side, though, too. If you are putting something out there or you are asking for help and someone gives you good advice or gives you some constructive criticism, don't come back and be angry and get nasty with them and say things like, well, you just didn't get it. You don't understand, man. Well, if everybody's not understanding, you may have a problem. And if you're just looking for someone to tell you that you're a genius, that ain't going to happen. But listen to what people are saying. And if people are saying the same thing over and over, your first page is all exposition. It's just, you're not setting anything. It's hard to say because exposition is setting things up. But if everything is people coming on and telling you about what has happened, as opposed to letting that happen organically, maybe you need to go back and we need to see that scene instead of characters coming on and informing us what has happened. It's all show, don't tell. The character shouldn't be telling us what happened. We should be seeing what has happened. So the online thing, the forums, they can get touchy. Which brings me back to the script that this guy had posted. He got very defensive about the script when people were telling him very nastily how horrible it was. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to look at the script. And for practice, I will do coverage on it. I will do it just the way I got coverage on from Screenplay Readers. And present that to him, and it'll be professional and courteous, and maybe he will take it, maybe he won't, and just throw it out there and see what happens. I will try to be the good guy here and do something nice. So I read it. The script here. It's 120 pages, so not too bad. It's got issues. It is an entire script of tell, don't show. Everybody comes on screen to tell what happened off screen. There is not a single incident that happens on screen in this entire screenplay. It revolves around the JFK assassination. So you'd think you'd at least see the assassination, but no, people come on and tell us about it. Literally everything throughout the entire piece is told to us. We don't see anything, and our main character never proactively does anything. At one point, he supposedly raised a big stink with the Secret Service and how the JFK protective squad was out partying and doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't have been doing. And he raised a big stink with the Secret Service about that. We don't see him do that. We don't see him raising that stink. We hear somebody else say, I heard he raised a big stink. And of course, that big stink, that issue that he brought up is a major turning point in this man's career. And we never see it. We never, nothing. It's something that we're told may have happened off screen. So just problems like that all the way through. The formatting is way off. Major problems with the formatting. So as I sat down to write my critique, my coverage of this, figuring how I was going to be polite about it, I looked up the playwright's name, the screenwriter's name, because I couldn't remember it offhand, and the name on the cover here is different than the person who posted. I thought, well, that's odd. Well, this sounds like a woman's name, and the guy who was posting it, I think his name was, I'm not going to say his name. It was a guy's name. And when they don't sound like the same person. So I looked this person up, woman, this is her screenplay that she has posted online somewhere else. This guy pulled it off and then reposted it in an online forum where she is not a member and was asking for critiques on it. I'm like, who are you to do this, does she know you're doing it? And so I wrote to him. I said, does she know that you're posting her work in a forum that she is not a member of, and you're asking for critiques? And he said, who cares? What difference does it make? I want to know. And I'm like, well, you know, is he a producer? Is he? If he's a producer, he's not going to be asking for an online critique. He's going to have people doing coverage for him. So that bothers me, that people can just take your work and just throw it around like that. And if I hadn't really paid attention to this, I would have thought this was his work. So you have to be very careful if you're going to put your work out there online, particularly if you're going to put the whole thing online. You're opening yourself up to all kinds of problems. I have some pages from my screenplays on my project page, not the whole thing. I got like 10 pages from each piece, so you don't get the whole work, so it can't be stolen. I've done all my copywriting, so I'm protected that way. I have no idea if this is copywritten. You know, it doesn't say it's copywritten on here. There's no WGA registration, so I have no idea what protection this woman has made for herself, other than she does have it on her own page as her own work. So once it is technically in a fixed format, it's copywritten, but I don't know if it's registered. It'd be very easy for someone to download the script and register it under their own name, which this guy could have done. I don't know. Be very careful if you're going to put your work out there online. Be very, very careful, because there are people like this who will do it. Anyway, that's all I have for this time. I need to go prepare some more for the upcoming event this weekend. I'll be picking up registration materials tomorrow. You can follow me on the Facebook page at the Screenwriter's Journey. Over the weekend, I'll be doing video updates from the different breakout sessions and consultations and things like that. And I'll also be doing live tweets during the breakout sessions, so you can follow me on Twitter using the handle @ScriptJourney. And that's where I will leave it for the moment. We will pick up the blog probably after the weekend. I may do some late night blogs after the conferences, but it'll probably be a wrap up after the conference is over. So that's it. Please let me know how your own writing is going, and keep the writing up. I'm William Gilmore for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. Until next time.